Yes, lads, welcome to the Gooner's Voice. Reese Jacobs here for a brand new video. In today's video, we will be talking about Arsenal. I know yesterday's video was more about Liverpool and Man City. But we've got our Arsenal colours on today. We're back to supporting Arsenal. I suppose that happens when you're just a football lover. Yeah, you just watch all types of football. So, yeah, Arsenal versus West Ham tomorrow. Kickoff. I think it's 3 p.m. Yeah, 3 p.m. UK time. Um, interesting game. Interesting game. I say that with the feeling of Leicester's game last weekend. Yeah, the first half was so bad. They're one of the worst halves of football I've ever seen Arsenal play, especially under Arteta. And the second half was just pure joy, pure emotion. Um, so it was thoroughly a game of two halves. I know it's a very cliche saying in football, but that was a game of two halves. And I probably expect more of the same against West Ham. To be honest, I expect Arsenal to have majority of the ball. I know historically, Potter teams, really good in possession, but he's still got a lot to figure out with West Ham, and that's partly down to the players he's inherited. And I think over time he will get it. I think Potter's a really good manager. I think what happened at Chelsea, he can't be judged by that. Chelsea is a bit of a graveyard for managers, the same like Man United, the same like Tottenham. So yeah, you can't be judged on their Chelsea result, yeah, on the Chelsea job. Um, Having said that, I do still expect Arsenal to win. Playing at home, as good as Arsenal's been at home, Arsenal have been outstanding at home this season, bar the Newcastle game in the Carabao Cup. Um, really strong at the Emirates. I think it will be a good occasion. I think for sure the crowd will be supporting the team, and I haven't seen anything but that from the crowd this season. Bar once again that Arsenal versus Newcastle performance, and that was just partly down to Arsenal on the day. Um, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I think Arsenal will struggle. I think West Ham will set up quite tightly. Um, Not per se as in Newcastle or Everton when they come to the Emirates, but I think they'll try and keep the game really tight for the first 20-25 minutes to quiet the crowd down. Um, it's all about Arsenal, yeah, the tempo they start with, um, the initiative they show. If Arsenal get an early goal, let's say a goal within like the first 20, I think they could go on and really coast the game. Because West Ham, yeah, morale at West Ham, even with a new manager, once they go a goal down, it's pretty much over for them. So I think Arsenal get an early goal, it would ease a lot of nerves and might just help a couple of players, and we'll get into a couple of players right now. Um, but for Arsenal to stay within touching distance of Liverpool, yeah, in the title race, um, it's not going to be about beautiful football. It's not going to be about free flowing football because at this moment in time, Arsenal don't have that. Yeah, and as much as they want to have it with the personnel available in attacking positions, it's just not there. Yeah, so the only way Arsenal stays in this title race is to play ugly. And these past couple in this run, basically, this 10 wins from 15, this 15 unbeaten run. I've seen the ugliness come back to Arsenal's play, and I think that's what they need. That's what's going to help them stay within touching distance of Liverpool. So that ugliness is definitely going to be needed up until the end of March when a couple of other players are back in attacking positions like Saka, like Martinelli. Um, they're going to have to nick games, and they're going to have to be really ugly. They're going to have to be really experienced. The dark arts are going to have to come back, I think, and it's going to be down to that back line, yeah, that spine. And I think the two most important players moving forward now. A lot of people will be saying would be attacking players, but I think it will be Gabriel and Saliba. I think this is the most important type of them. I think before, you know, Arsenal were good enough to concede a goal here and there, and they had more than enough in attacking talent to win games and still concede. I think that's not the case right now. I don't see Arsenal easily scoring 2 or 3 goals in a game. I think one goal is hard enough with the personnel they have. So it's going to be really, really important that Gabriel and Saliba really show their A game. Because I think it's the ugliness is what's going to keep Arsenal within touching distance of Liverpool. And that touching distance, let's be fair, it's barely an arm's length. It's really far away. I think Liverpool are in a great position. I'm under no illusions that it's theirs to lose. Yeah, it's theirs to lose. In a great position, 8 points ahead. Like I said in yesterday's video, I don't care about the game in hand because Liverpool fans will tell you a game in hand means nothing. Yeah, game in hand means nothing. Um, so Arsenal can't be counting on that. Arsenal just needs to worry about themselves. I know, once again, another cliche, but that's all they can do. They can't be looking up. You look up and you're just going to put pressure on yourselves. Yeah. Um, Having said that, there is a lot of pressure because it is a must-win game if Arsenal still want to try and go for the title. Um, like Wenger always used to say, it's mathematically possible. It's still mathematically possible for Arsenal, so you can't give up hope. You just have to keep trotting on, I suppose. Um, the next thing I want to chat about after the title race is definitely the Sterling situation. Yeah, Sterling situation, because I've thought about it from both ends. I've thought about it as as a manager. I'm by no means a football manager, but you know, and I've thought about it as a fan. So as a fan, having witnessed what I witnessed against Leicester, there's no way, you know, on earth that Sterling should be starting that game tomorrow. Having said that, we do need Sterling somehow. We have no attacking options on the bench. So if you're not starting Sterling, he's your only attacking option off the bench. Okay. So you need Sterling in some way, shape, or form until the end of March. And even when Saka and Martinelli comes back, you still need Sterling because you're still short. Because even with Saka, even with Martinelli, even with Jesus, even with Havertz, even with Trossard, and now Nwaneri, Arsenal was still short one. So for sure, Sterling has a big part to play for Arsenal until the end of the season. And, you know, there was times at City where he was a world-class player. Or had world class moments. Maybe not a world class player. Let me phrase it differently. He had world class moments. He had good output for City. He had one really good season at City where he had like 50 goal contributions. Keyword 50 goal contributions. Before anyone judges me and says he's never scored 50 goals, I didn't say that. I said 50 goal contributions. Yeah. Um, so for a player who's got what almost 130 Premier League goals, you know, he just hasn't lost it, and it's been tough for him. And I think we do need to think about that a little bit more when just judging Sterling. For one, he had a really tough start to the season. Yeah, he basically didn't have the best preseason because he was told to train away from the Chelsea first team. So then he comes to Arsenal and he doesn't play, an awful lot of games. He plays one Carabao Cup game, I think it was, that he started, and then he has the odd start here and there. I remember him starting against Southampton, and he was really poor. Not as poor as what he was against Leicester. Um, and then he hasn't really had a competitive start thereafter. So it's tough for him. It's tough for him. No matter what professional you are, you can't just switch it on like that. There has to be sharpness. There has to be a consistent amount of minutes in your legs. And we've seen that with Odegaard. Yes, albeit he hasn't been half as bad as what Sterling's been. But when Odegaard came back, he had that really good game against Chelsea when we really needed him. And then he went quiet for, 5 or 6 games, 5 or 6 performances. So it's hard for any professional. So I think you drop Sterling, right? The only time Sterling's ever going to get into this Arsenal team right now is when there's no one available. Okay, because when your attacking options are available, there's no way Sterling starts. So you think of it from Raheem Sterling's point of view. He's now got a chance because there's no one else to choose, right? And if the manager's still not picking you, then you obviously know it's over for you at the current club. So I think of it at that point of view, from Arteta's view, is if he drops Sterling now, I think he's basically telling Sterling that that's it. Um, Unless he's got a really good relationship with Sterling. He says, look, you're still struggling a bit. We're still going to need you from now until the end of the season. For this West Ham game, after what happened against Leicester, I think it's best to come off the bench. I think would be easier for you to impact the game that way than to start the game. Um, but I've also seen what Arteta has done with players in the past, and with actual Arsenal players, not players on loan. And yeah, he's really brave. He's not scared to drop someone. He's not scared to do what's best for the performance of a team. So it's a hard conundrum. My point of view, Sterling doesn't get near the starting 11 for tomorrow. I think you go with Marino. You have to reward Marino for what he did against Leicester. Um, do you think he can maybe do it again off the bench? I'm not too sure. We've seen the best of super subs come on as subs and not score in every game. It's impossible. It is impossible. So I think you start with Marino. I think you are at home. It's a game where you're probably going to have most of the ball, so you can take that chance. And I've seen a lot of people as well, a lot of the fan base thinking about a formation change, and I think that's never going to happen, not at this stage, and not in a Premier League game. Maybe in the early stages of the Carabao Cup, or I think a good time if Arteta ever wanted to change the formation or try a new system to accompany for the lack of attackers. I think he would have done that against Girona. I think that would have been a great game for him to try something, and he didn't. So you know, there's no way he's going to do it tomorrow when Arsenal thoroughly need 3 points. So I don't think that's the situation there. I think he'll start exactly the same, and I think like I said, the most important players tomorrow would be Gabriel and Saliba for me, and whoever can nick something for Arsenal, whether that be a set piece, whether it be Noneri doing what Noneri does, whether it's Trossard, maybe Marino starting, if Marino's nicking one. But I do feel Odegaard's going to have to step up as well. Yeah, we're going to need a lot more from Odegaard. There's times against Leicester where I was screaming, shoot. I'm not sure if anyone else watching the game and felt that way. But there's so many times where last season, even the season before, Odegaard would shoot. Odegaard got so many goals from open play last season. I think it was the most for midfielder um, without penalties. So he needs to shoot more. He needs to take a little bit more initiative. And having said that, the second half against Leicester, he was superb. Yeah, as good as Nwaneri was. It's a real tongue twister, that one, eh? Nwaneri. um, Odegaard was really good in the second half. I felt with his intensity that got Arsenal into different gears or up their gears. So yeah, I think it's going to be very important for Arsenal tomorrow. And rightly so, he's the captain. So I think if Arsenal's going to have a really good game tomorrow, it's going to be down to Odegaard, Saliba, and Gabriel. They're going to nick something, and I would love to be completely wrong. I would love to see a 4-5, 6-0 smashing against West Ham, but it's probably highly unlikely with how awkward things are up front for Arsenal at the moment. So yeah, wouldn't expect that. But if it happens, I'd love to be wrong. In this situation, I'd love to be wrong. And in terms of starting line, I'll give you my predicted starting lineup, and I'll give you my preferred starting lineup. Yeah, how's that? So obviously Ray in goal, Timber right back, centre backs would be Gabriel and Saliba. Left back would definitely be Miles Lewis Skelly. And then in midfield, the usual midfield trio of Partey, Declan Rice, and Odegaard. I know Partey he didn't have the best game against Leicester, but I still expect him to keep his place. I don't think you bring Jorginho into this one just as yet. So Partey, Declan, and Martin in midfield. And then up front, I think you have to go Noneri, Marino, and Trossard. I think when you play Sterling, not only is Sterling a hindrance, right? Because he's just so low in confidence at the moment, but you then shut Trossard as a false nine, and he really struggles there. So you kill the team in two aspects. So I think dropping Sterling and having Trossard on the left and Marino up front. Marino's not a striker, but then you're only using one crutch as opposed to two crutches. If you know what I'm saying, because then you still got Trossard in his preferred position. So I think that's more balanced. I think it's far more balanced than starting with Sterling and having Trossard up front. I think if Mourinho can do a job there, you know, it would be amazing for Arsenal. Amazing because then you still have Sterling to come off the bench, and I think that's the best way for him to grow his confidence at the moment. I think Arsenal may be winning 2 or 3 nil. 20 minutes to go, you bring Sterling on. There's not much to play for. Maybe nicks a goal, gets an assist, maybe beats a couple of players, gets the crowd going, and that's the sort of thing that gets your confidence up. I think at the moment he shouldn't be starting games. Honestly, honestly. But yeah, that's all for today, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you would start. Be interesting. A lot of people screaming out for Tierney on the left because of his crossing ability. But we know Arteta's over Tierney, and as much as I love Tierney, is what it is. But yeah, that's it for now. Reese Jacobs at the Gooners Voice. Cheers and peace.